Hey, what's up, guys? LaRosa Johnson here with Trailblazin Tech, and today we are starting a new series. We're doing a quick start series on how to set up the TechDesk Elevation Suite powered by HighLevel. So we're just going to jump right into it. I'm going to start sharing my screen, and we're just going to dive right in. All right, so in this video, we're just going to walk through how to set up your domain so you can start sending email, because that's one of the most important things that you can set up in the TechDesk Suite when you're first getting started. So we're just going to walk through that, and I'm going to show you how simple it is, and then also I'm going to walk through a few caveats with it as well, and for other things that you might want to set up. So to get to those settings, you want to come over here, down to Settings, and then click on Email Services. And this is just a demo account that I'm using here. And so when you first come in, you'll see this notification where it's an important notification about boosting your email deliverability. So it's giving you some pointers on enhancing your deliverability, having brand credibility, having increased control over how your email is sent, which is basically making sure that people can't spoof your email and send emails as you, and then also making sure that you're reducing being flagged as spam or ending up in someone's promotions folder. And you do all this by creating a dedicated domain, because you can see over here that it is using currently like lc.techdesksuite.com, which is just the default domain that I have set up. And so like if you failed to set up anything else, you would be sending from that domain and it wouldn't be very secure. So we're going to click create dedicated domain, and then it brings you to this screen where you can start adding your new domain. And for this one, I'm going to use a domain that I have that I don't really use for much, TechDeskDev.com. And what we want to do is actually set up a subdomain of that primary domain, specifically for sending email. So in this case, I would use something like email.techdeskdev.com. So we have our main domain, techdeskdev.com, and then our subdomain, so the first part of it, the email dot. And then you want to click add and verify. Now this verification part, it'll take you some time if you are, depending on the web host you're using, and well, not the web host, but where you have your domain registered, it might take you some work in terms of having to manually copy the records over. But I'm using Cloudflare, and I will show you just how easy this is with Cloudflare. So if you click continue, it's going to set up your domain, find your DNS records and all that stuff, and it's going to eventually see that I'm using Cloudflare, which you can see here. So it says your domain provider is Cloudflare, and then you can click here to find out what records are going to be added, but we'll skip that for now. And we just want to authorize the domain. So we do that, and then it gives us a summary here of these are all the records that are going to be added to my domain's DNS record. So we have a TXT record with a domain key, which basically is just saying like this is proof that we own the domain, all that kind of stuff, and then some other verification, then also our mail exchange records. So without boring you with those details, we're just going to click authorize, and then all of those are going to get added behind the scenes to our account. So you'll see here that these are all the things that need to be added, and right now it says not verified. So it usually takes about 30 seconds or so for Cloudflare to get everything set up and for the servers to verify it. So we click verify domain, everything should come back. But it says like, please add the DNS and try again. So what we want to do is we'll just back out of this. So go back to dedicated domains. And then we can see here, it's still currently inactive. We come back in here again to verify domain. And now we can see everything shows up as verified. But then we have this last one here that says not verified, and this field is optional. While it said it's optional, if you are sending email to like Yahoo, Gmail, you definitely want to make sure that you have this set up. But I don't recommend using the value that they give you, which is the V equals D mark 1 and P equals none. Because the P equals none really gives you no security whatsoever. And it's basically just something that people put there in order to just pass the validation, but it gives you no security. We want security on our email. So let me show you how to set this up properly. And we can do this very easily using Cloudflare. So I'm going to copy this host name because we will need this, but we're not going to need this. So if we come over to Cloudflare, we can see if I refresh this page, all those DNS records should be there that were added. So you see all those records here that were added from the TechDesk Suite email setup. And then one of the things that we want to do is then come over here to email and then DMARC management. And then we want to enable DMARC management. And then it gives you this record here that you can then include. But we want to actually edit this. Oops. Went to the wrong thing. So let's try this again. Go to email, DMARC management, enable. And this is just going to set a default one for our entire domain. So we click add. And so now we have that record there. And then if we go back to our DNS, we can see it here, but it still has the p equals none. And what we want to do is we want to change that to, generally it should be set to it should be set to all, but we'll set it to quarantine. And by setting it to quarantine, it will send any inappropriate messages to someone's spam folder. But if it's going through the proper channels and all that, it should send to someone's inbox and not their spam. So we're going to change that to quarantine. We're going to copy this because this is for the entire domain, but we also want the one for specifically our subdomain that we're setting up on the TechDesk Suite. So we add another record. We are adding a TXT record. We're going to copy that there. Then we're going to paste that. So our dmarc.email, then save. So now we have that set, and we can go back to our TechDesk Suite account. So we can ignore this for now. It'll eventually show that it's verified. And so if we just click verify domain, it should validate at some point. And then you'll see this SSL pending. This will eventually be verified as well and turn green. So if we click verify now, we'll see now everything is verified. So we have all of that, and then we can also see the record here that we put in. And then click verify domain. And now we can see we have an SSL issued. And there's one last thing that we need to do, which is add a dedicated header. Because right here you see that it says no name not provided and email not provided. So what we want to do is put in the default name and email that we're going to be sending from this domain name. So what we do, click on the three dots, set headers, and then our from name. So for this, we'll just say LaRosa demo. And then for our email, we will say LaRosa at TechDesk, if I can spell, dev.com. And you can see that we're not putting the email dot because that's just the sending domain. We can still send from our regular domain name. And so we have our email there, click save. And now we have our dedicated header. And so that's all that we need to do. And if you come over here to domain configuration, there's really nothing that you need to set unless you were wanting to set up some additional details, which is not anything that we really need to do for this particular setup. So if we come back here to the SMTP service, there are a couple more things that I want to show you. So if we come here to reply and forward settings, this will determine what happens when someone replies to your email address or to your email. Because by default, the way the TechDesk Suite is set up is any time you send out an email from within the TechDesk Suite, whether it be an email campaign or something that you're just sending directly from within the Conversations tab or someone's contact record, the reply address is set so that it's going to show up in the Conversations tab. And so what we want to do is if you want that email to come to your regular inbox, then there are a couple of things that you need to do. So that's what this reply and forward settings are. So if you want to just set a default reply address and you don't care if it shows up in the conversations tab, you don't want it to show up there at all, then you just come down here to the reply address and put in your email address. So we would put in like LaRosa at TechDeskDev.com, and then it will bypass sending all the emails to the conversations tab and just send them to our regular email account. And so if you wanted to do that, then that's fine. But let's say that you do want those to continue coming to the conversations tab, and you also want to get a copy of it in your inbox. You can do that by setting a forwarding address. And then what you want to do is make sure that you're not sending it to the same email address that you're sending from, but having like an alias set up. So let's say replies at techdeskdev.com that also forwards to your LaRosa at techdeskdev.com email address. And so you would put that there as the forwarding address, or if you want to also include other people on that email, you can do that as well. And then once you have those set, you just click save here or here, and then all that will be set for you. And that's it. That's all there really is to setting up your email account. And then now everything is set up in order for you to send emails, whether it be your email campaigns or newsletters, or just regular emails to clients or contacts from your account. So hope this video was helpful and hope you enjoyed it. And next time we'll dive into another setting that will help you get up and running really fast with your TechDesk Suite account. So see you next time.